Hello.
All right. Okay, we good? Matt, you good?
Yeah, we're good.
Anthony, good?
I think so, yeah.
Little soft, move Mike a little closer if possible.
I think so.
Welcome to Secure the Bag.
These
My
nuts.
name is Jackson.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just get one in.
Hey everyone, welcome to Secure the Bag. My name's Jackson. Best mate Matt. Local homosexual Anthony. 3,
Let's do
2,
this.
1.
I think I have some explaining to do. I was on a hiatus. And as Jackson mentioned before, I was not sick. I was not moving houses. Apparently, I was doing I was in Melbourne, to be fair. I was doing a gay bar tour.
Oh, that's crazy.
We're waiting for the passing.
Just as you do for 3 weeks.
Is that where someone? Is that where an anti-vaxxer tried to punch you in the back of the head?
Well,
You need to stop hitting on anti-vaxxers and gay clubs, Anthony. It's really not your vibe.
Yeah, it's not the vibe. It's not the vibe anymore. All that staying on for this one. It's not the vibe.
With that
No,
said, everyone.
I was gonna
With
say-
that said,
I was going to say he took it off because he's not capping. Then he was like,
he's not
"Whoa."
capping. Yeah. Well,
No, the tour was good. I had a lot of fun. Met a lot of beautiful women, men. I'm sorry. I was a bit of a hiatus at moving houses and then flu and then So
all
here I
right.
am.
Well, welcome back to the 10th episode of the podcast, everyone. As we go, Anthony has been returned to us. The gays have released him from their clutches. Anthony's now you can imagine that, of course, this was Anthony's forfeit related. We can't ignore the fact that he's been on a hiatus for so long, visiting some kind of clubs, just not the ones you'd expect from Anthony.
Straight white man.
And with that, we've got some big points to talk about today, everyone. We're going to talk about all the penalties from the game week that made it one of the most boring game weeks of football I've ever watched. We'll be talking about Manchester United and Rangnick, and we'll be talking about the Champions League round of 16, and then wrapping up with an update on the relegation battle. So stick around, subscribe, like the video, and wherever you're watching this, let's get straight into it, guys. So,
or listening. Don't forget, if you're on Spotify or Apple, subscribe or follow. Listen, please listen. Please
absolutely. Listen. All right, lads, let's get straight into the first topic. Let's not mess around anymore. I've been waiting for this chance to have a proper potty for a while, so let's do this.
All right, baby.
Wait,
Bing bong.
You've been waiting to go to the toilet for a while. What?
All right, Matt. None of that. Throw the potty humor out. We're getting serious now. Make sure you leave your potty mouse at home. All right. Yeah. All right. So we start off first with. As we do, we're going to have a look at this game week, which at the end of the day was a whole lot of penalties. So I think Anthony and Matt, you've got some explaining to do. Your teams are terrible.
What are you talking about? Our team's won, mate. What are you talking about? Your team drew.
That's because we didn't need a penalty from the second best footballer in the world to beat Norwich.
This is in my section to talk about, all right? That's
surprisingly, Matt, that wasn't directed at you. Jorginho. I'm talking about Jorginho.
Yeah, when you said second best player in the world, I was like, fuck, Jorginho,
yeah, it's Jorginho. Yeah. You've both. West Ham West Ham could have easily gotten a penalty in that game when there was a moment when but it would have been in line with that game week. Every single one of those teams needing a penalty to win 1-0 against really subpar opposition.
3-2.
You needed 2 penalties to win, isn't it?
But actually there was 3 penalties in the game.
Oh my God, crazy.
One wasn't yours.
One wasn't yours. I don't know what happened with the refs. They were on a good track with sort of letting more physical play.
Yeah.
So I can't blame the refs. I don't know if I can blame the refs for what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, United certainly haven't been getting as many penalties as they were last year.
You wish you were, yeah.
Probably. However, since I know we're going to talk about the king himself, Ranić, but it doesn't matter at the moment. We're winning. So
yeah, but there's the thing. It's a little early to be depending on a penalty for the win against Norwich.
I don't think we depended on it because we controlled the game pretty well, right? The gegenpress that they're kind of employing is working well, right? We're having our shots. We're not like super high in possession, which isn't really what the gegenpress is about. It's about winning the ball back and pushing forward straight away.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're pushing forward because I've got the stats up here. I mean, 13 shots, 5 on target. Granted, Norwich had the same, but they weren't quality shots. Ours were quality shots. So we're winning back the ball and we're pushing forward quickly and getting those shots off. But hence why we only had 50%, 53%.
But not being clinical was a problem under Solskjaer as well. If you guys can't actually convert chances into goals under Ranić, the same problem persists with players like Sancho.
I don't think the goal would have come. I think we took our foot off a little bit after the penalty. I'm okay with a 1-0 win every week, though. Just let that be known. If it's a 1-0 penalty win every week, I'm okay with that. It's just good to be back to winning.
Yeah.
We're deploying that 4-2-2, 4-2-2 thing, right? I don't know if it really suits our squad at the moment, but it's working, right? Like we've got 1-0 wins all over the shop, right? But again, I'll take it every single week.
Yeah. And I mean, better teams than you depended on the same 1-0 penalty win.
I mean, look at Arsenal. They were drawing every second week.
Yeah. I mean, Liverpool depended on a 1-0 penalty to beat Aston Villa.
And Man City needed the 1-0 penalty as well.
But watching the Liverpool game, I watched that particular game, and Liverpool were all over the chances as well. It was only a matter of time before they were going to score. And I mean, they did need the penalty to get through. Liverpool's chances had more of an abundance of chances than the United game.
Comparing Aston Villa to Norwich is also not on. I think it's disrespect to Steven Gerrard. It's disrespect to Steven.
Wait, from me, Jackson, or
no, from Anthony there. The same thing could be said about Manchester United.
Yeah.
Norwich are the team you should be beating much more. Like Chelsea beat them 7-0 without their strikers.
Well.
Yeah. Sorry?
Actually, you should be beating less on Leeds. You should be beating Burnley.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. How's your unbeaten in Europe streak going, Reddy?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine, mate. The atmosphere at the club's so good after that loss because we got to play at youth prospects I've never seen.
Seven youth prospects.
That was so good. Yeah, incredible. They didn't play bad either. They played against a pretty mid-tier European side that needed the win for second and lost 1-0. The attackers probably played worse than the defenders. The youth defenders were much better.
I feel the same about the United draw.
Yeah.
We played a complete rotated squad.
Yeah, against young boys 1-1. Who scored the goal in that game?
We brought on 18-year-olds.
Yeah,
so I'm more than okay with that.
But there's the thing. I'm fine with that one because we'd already secured top of the group. We were just willing to throw that plays out. Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah.
How about your Champions League game? How about Chelsea's Champions League game, Matt?
3-3 draw was that it?
That's pretty poor, right? That's pretty poor.
Did you play youth prospects?
For our standards, it's we played a couple of players we don't normally play, right? We played Callum Hudson-Odoi as a right wing back, which is something I don't really like because I don't really like his defending. But
he pushed forward more than he defended.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't. He doesn't track back. They played Hudson-Odoi. They played Saul on the left as a left wing back, and then they played Malang Sarr as one of their defenders with Christensen and Azpilicueta and Ariza Balaga in goal.
Yeah, okay, not a great. Didn't think was a flop up top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he scored.
Yeah, but he couldn't pull off the win.
But scored,
that's right. He did score though.
He scored, and Werner scored too as well.
But let's link this to the game week in the EPL because Chelsea have now conceded 2 or 3 goals in like 3 games running.
We've conceded 3 against West Ham. We've conceded 3 against
Zenit,
and now 2 against Leeds. And so that's 8 goals in the past 3 games, which is more than we conceded in the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's dreadful. Yeah.
I
mean, one was a penalty, sure. One was a penalty. Sure.
Yeah, but I'd actually argue a penalty's worse because you've given that up. Right?
Yeah, it's a lack of discipline, which you expect that from Chelsea to be able to not concede penalties like that.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Look, would you say the best defender in the Premier League?
Was that Tony Rudiger? Yeah. I still stick by his top 3.
He's going to get paid $400K a week to go to Real Madrid, mate. Of course he's the
mate. He secured that win for us on the weekend. He secured the win for us on the weekend.
Yeah.
Got 2 penalties called on him, or called in his favour, and secured our win.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're obviously Trevor Chalobah's out injured, so we're playing Azpilicueta in our back line, and Ben Chilwell's obviously out injured as well, so we have to play Marcus Alonso, and we've had to play Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the midfield in replace for Mateo Kovacic, who's also out. So we still and Kante's still injured as well. So we still got a few injuries that are out of our lineup, out of our squad at the moment. But from the game week that we had, I mean, obviously first goal for Leeds, Dan James gets into the box, Alonso challenges him, gets the ball, and then follows through with his legs. I mean, did you guys see it? Did you guys see the replay?
I watched the mini match.
Yeah. What did you guys think of it?
Yeah, probably. It's got to be. I mean, it's rough because as a West Ham fan who didn't get a penalty in the game week and is obviously salty about not being allowed to get a 1-0 win as well. But most of the penalties that were given were legit. They're hard to challenge.
There was a lot of penalties, but they were all kind of spot on. Right?
I mean, you had that penalty in that game. Then you had the Rudiger penalty, the first Rudiger penalty where he's got it inside the box, just about, I'd say, a couple of yards from the end line, and gets taken out by Llorente. And yeah, that was a clear penalty for me. And then the third one, Rudiger's just inside the box again, and whoever the defender was, I can't remember who the defender was. His studs go straight into Rudiger's foot. So clear penalties.
Do you get? I mean, even if they're legit penalties, though, are you still concerned about the fact that you needed penalties to win that game? I mean, Anthony can say what he wants about the fact that the pressure was there from Manchester United, that the players are there to get the goal at some point, but with Chelsea, and we'll get to this in a future video especially, but with Werner, Lukaku, with the players you've got there, I don't know if you can claim that you can so easily win matches without the penalties.
Yeah, just to add to that, just before you give it, it's not like you have Ronaldo, who is notorious for doing like an 89th minute tapping or something.
Yeah.
You don't have that winner.
If I have a level of concern, it's a small level of concern. It's not a major level of concern because, like I said before, we've got a few players out, and some of those players, like Chilwell and Reece James, I know that they aren't our attacking players, but them 2 players are some of the highest players in our club for goal scores this season. And then obviously we've got Mason Mount, who's the highest goal scorer for our club. We just gotta find the right combination up front. That's what I believe. If we find that right combination of those front 3, then I think once we get that, we should be okay.
I mean,
there is a slight bit of worry that's not going to come in time, and because we've got Mount, we've got Havertz, we've got Werner, we've got Lukaku, we've got Hakim Ziyech, we've got Christian Pulisic, we've got all of these guys here. That's the only concern for me is it's not going to come in time.
But there's the thing: whatever combination you put together, there's at least any combination is going to have an average player in it just because of the options you have. Like, if that trio includes Werner, then it's bad. In my opinion, that's not a great trio to combine. And he's had time to combine and partner with a lot of other players at that club.
He has, and I like that. That's why I said to you, there's one particular lineup with 2 players that that Chelsea should not be playing. Thomas Tuchel should never be playing. After that one game, he played these 2 guys together. I said to you they should never be playing again, Jackson. If you remember, Timo Werner and Callum Hudson-Odoi, you should never have those two in the front line together. Yeah. And he played them two in the front line together, and they're just two inconsistent players that can't play together.
But if you exclude them, then your other options are only really Ziyech, Mount, Kai, Lukaku.
And Pulisic.
Yeah. The more I look at the squad,
is Pulisic back yet?
Yeah, he's back. He's been coming on.
Yep, go on, Anthony.
You don't really have, like, I'll harp back on about United. I can't say it about West Ham though. Like, if we deployed a complete second team, like every single player rotated, you'd probably pit them to finish mid-table, right? Mm-hmm. Can't say the same about Chelsea, right?
No, yeah.
Your backup options to every position isn't strong enough, right? Mm-hmm. And the other thing that concerns me is you're playing, like, if I look at the Leeds game, it's like a 3-4-3 kind of thing, right?
It's not a 3-4-3. We're playing wing backs. It's just the way.
What? Okay, 5-2-3 then, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, nearly the same thing, right? Nearly the same thing. They're both wing backs. Mm-hmm. But if you look at it, you don't have wingers. I don't know why you're trying to deploy a system with 3 up front with 2 wide men.
Because there's nobody in the box really, and Lukaku doesn't play that.
Lukaku is such a huge presence. There was all this talk about you recruiting well in the midfield, and you have a really strong midfield and a really strong attacking prowess. You don't have any wingers. Like what? Hudson-Odoi is a natural winger, right? Pulisic is a natural winger. Neither of those can get a game.
I prefer.
You can't call Ziyech a winger either because he's attacking mid.
I prefer Callum Hudson-Odoi not to get a game, to be honest with you, because
you're trying to deploy wingers with players that aren't wingers, right? Like you've put Werner on the wing.
Look,
left hand side to come in.
Look, the way I see it, and it might be wrong. You guys might say I'm wrong. Is that we have 2 strong wing backs in Reece James and Ben Chilwell, and then we've obviously got Alonso and Azpilicueta that can slot into those positions.
Yeah, to be fair to Matt, the 3 centre backs cover it. Yeah, they play really well taking play out wide, to be fair, and the 3 centre backs cover.
That's how you should deploy, right? You should have those wing backs on overlapping duties. You should have them pushing forward, right? Yeah. Now I'm going all Football Manager. You should have those wing backs on your overlapping duties.
I mean, to an extent, they do that.
They do that, but you're also trying to play 2 wide players or wide players, right? Werner isn't a wide player; he cuts in a lot. So is Mount, to be fair, but they're deployed on the wings, more or less. You scrap that. Throw Lukaku up the front, stack that midfield, right? Why would you deplete yourself of winning? You can win or lose a football match in the midfield. Like there's no doubt about that, right? If you stack it with Jorginho, who you say is the second best player in the world, which is Cap, but
sure,
you could stack that midfield. You've got Sol, you've got Barkley, you've got Ziyech,
you stack Jorginho, Kante, and Kovacic together.
No, but you do that as a trio. Then you'd have an attacking mid in like Mount or Havertz or even like a Ziyech or someone. But then you just get rid of Werner and then you just have Lukaku as your central man and you try and play it through to him, right? Your fullbacks are attacking. Reece James is an attacking fullback, right?
He is. Yep. He's one of the top scorers in our club at the moment.
Exactly. Right?
Goals and assists.
Have him pinging in crosses. Why do you need to play wide players when they're not wide players? Your team's not set up for that. And I think Tuchel's probably doing the wrong thing with your formation.
I think it's less to do with the formation, more to do with once the ball gets to the final third. It's actually the play of getting the ball into the final third where Tuchel's style of play seems to become less structured and more just hoping to ping it up to Lukaku and see what happens there.
But I think if you stack the midfield well enough, you're going to get more chances to get it in there.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a chance with a Werner cross, right?
No. Yeah. No.
It's also the fact that you guys don't. I know I can name a 100% any formation. I could name a United best starting 11. Jackson, you could name a West Ham starting 11.
But Chelsea,
you can't name a starting 11. Same thing at Manchester City. It's not just Chelsea.
I mean,
Chelsea don't have a starting 11 cemented.
With Chelsea, you can cement basically a midfield and a defense if players are fit. It's
Oh,
more
I
the front
wouldn't
three.
even agree
I
on the
kind of
defense
disagree.
because Alonso and Reece and Chilwell. I don't know if that.
No,
Look,
the defense.
Defense you could.
Yeah,
It's,
the defense you
it's,
could.
it's Thiago
With some
Silva,
troubles.
it's Rudiger, and it's Chalobah, and then you've got Chilwell and Reece James. That's a
Oh,
defense.
Tuchel doesn't agree with that though. Tuchel regularly doesn't agree with that though.
I mean, that's how he's played most of the games.
He's kept Reece out of that team for like long spells because he rates other players like Alonso higher.
when.
Oh, earlier in the season, I know this because I put Reece in my FPL team, and he dropped him.
He kept Alonso in there. Alonso playing at left back because Chilwell was injured at the start of the season.
That's
as
true.
Well.
That is also true.
That's
that was
right.
an element of
And Reece James now for this game week is in trouble. That if he gets one more yellow card this game week, he's going to be suspended.
Even card.
I'm telling you, despite injuries, Tuchel has been very open to switching out the players that he plays there. Not to mention Asby can shift into these positions, which has happened this season.
Right back, right?
But I just think that if you took 10 fans from each club and asked for a starting 11, there'd be more consensus in Man United and West Ham than Chelsea.
Absolutely. And I don't think it's the back line. I kind of disagree with you, Jackson. You can see a true best back line, right? Midfield, you're playing Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
We're playing Loftus-Cheek because because Kovacic and Kante are still both out injured.
You have
if they're back, we're not playing Loftus-Cheek.
Tuchel doesn't like
he
Sol
doesn't
for
like
some
Sol.
reason.
He's played in like 2 or 3 games since he's been at Chelsea. He does not.
He's
like
got
him.
like a couple minutes at the end of every game.
He doesn't even play him in the midfield. He plays him as a wing back.
As a young chap, as in 2 or 3 years ago, I used to watch a lot of Spanish football.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved watching Atletico Madrid.
Okay.
I thought we were going to get him. We were going to get a few of their players actually, but oh man, I love Sol.
Griezmann was linked to Manchester United for a while.
Everybody gets linked to Manchester United.
Every single player gets thrown a shot with you, Man United. Come on.
All right, we'll move on now to the topic most dear to newly returned Anthony's heart. Yeah. We actually haven't got the chance to do an OT on the sacking of Solskjaer and the arrival of Rangnick because of other events. But now's the chance, Anthony, to let us know a little bit. What we want to know is that before Solskjaer was sacked, there was a bunch of players that we knew were going to head for the doors. Mm-hmm. Pogba was heading for the doors. Lingard was heading for the doors. Martial was heading for the doors. And there were some players that just got brought in, like Ronaldo, Varane.
Yeah.
Who benefits from Rangnick being brought in and who is going to be pushed out by his tactics and his personality?
All right, it's interesting. Okay, so if you the first thing you got to kind of recognize is the formation, right? The 4-2-2, right? Rangnick, this is his football style, right? He invented it. This gegenpress kind of thing. This is him, right? So it's kind of it's odd to see, right? And you can kind of see what he wants to do with his starting 11 because he's played it twice, and I somewhat agree with him. They got De Gea at the back; he's cemented, right? He's opted for Telles over Shaw, right? Because we'll go through the lineup first. Telles for sure, and then you got your Maguire. Varane will be in there because he's one of the best ever. But he's gone for. He also plays Diogo Dalot, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, where's supposedly the best right back in the league?
Yes, and you say that, and that's very interesting. It's very interesting because Dalot and Telles were players that were in the periphery under Solskjaer, getting games maybe in Europe.
They were bench players.
Coming off the bench.
They were bench
coming off the
bench.
Most.
At most, they were
and now they come in for Rangnick, and Telles is a very good player. Dalot I don't rate. He was sort of brought in as like a versatile wing back by Mourinho.
I got to agree with Jackson.
I don't rate. He just didn't like. Even Mourinho, who brought him in, just went. He's actually not all that on it.
I can't remember where I read this. I'm sure it was Rangnick that said himself. His work rate is unbelievable in training. Mm-hmm. Right? I feel like Wan-Bissaka got really comfortable because he is
no competition.
Defensive right back.
That's not true anymore, though.
Defensive right back.
No, I wouldn't say that anymore.
No way, mate.
Over the last 3 months,
No way.
you can't give someone with his form that kind of a title.
No, okay, fair. His form has been he's dipped, right? On his day, best defensive.
But maybe, no competition for the role.
Yeah,
it happens to
the
players.
style that Ragnick plays, right? Because the whole point of a gegenpress is to have the ball, play it forward, where as soon as you lose it, you get it back, right? Whereas Wan-Bissaka would lose it, drop back, the other players around him kind of scuttle for it, and then win it back on the counter.
Even if you could convince Wan-Bissaka to win the ball high up the field, his delivery to actually make a move out of taking back is pretty average.
He can cross the ball. But if he's not in the position to cross the ball, he's pretty useless, right?
I mean, my 7-year-old cousin can cross the ball. So
actually, having seen Wan-Bissaka play a bunch, I actually think he's very doesn't have the confidence. Usually, if he is in a position to cross, I've seen it many times, he will actually just look for a pass back.
He'll look for a pass
as opposed to try. Yeah, he'll just look for a pass back.
Yeah.
And he's not the right pick probably. So, okay. No. But Wan-Bissaka isn't a play we think is going to be pushed out. I think he'll stick around. He'll stick around.
Now you look at the midfield and you got the two defensive midfielders, Fred and McTominay.
This is the big one. Yeah, this is the big one, isn't it? Yeah,
right. Fred was deployed wrong under Sol.
I'm glad it's not me this week.
Anyway,
Fred wasn't deployed right at all.
Yeah,
at all. He was deployed really badly under Solskjaer, right?
Yeah.
So McTominay, I still, hand on my heart, believe that he's a fantastic defensive midfielder. Right?
Yeah.
And he's so young, so he'll only get better with age.
Yeah.
Once he fills in, he's just, you can see it already in the past 2 years. He's gotten so much better.
He doesn't like the bus, he comes it.
Yeah.
All right, Matt.
But Fred's kind of doing the right thing because Fred's such a physical presence. He's short, but he's a physical presence. And he knows how to press and get that ball back because that's his role.
Yeah.
Right? So he works well under Ragnick. And
think McTominay.
Yeah, I'd keep McTominay until he retires. Yeah.
Well,
all right.
Let's think about it, Jackson. Who are they going to replace McTominay with?
Yeah,
Declan Rice.
Rice would replace Fred.
Look, we're talking about. I'm talking about in the club right now. There's no one in the club right now.
In the club? No, you wouldn't.
No, in the club. No, Matic, wrong pick. I say Rice only because Rice is perfect because Rice's exact role in West Ham is, yes, he's a defensive midfielder, but Rice randomly breaks out to these long striding runs and suddenly just seizes possession out of nowhere. He just takes it and runs with it, and he sets off moves high up the pitch. It'd be perfect.
Fred.
It would probably, but he has more of the defensive duties than Fred would ever take on at the same time.
If I'm being honest with you, Jackson, if there's a chance for one club in Manchester to get him, it's not City. It's not United. It's City.
I disagree with that, actually.
I don't know.
I think it's open to anyone, honestly.
It's open to anyone, but
whoever's willing to pay West Ham's price.
I reckon City has a better chance of getting it.
If you pay the 120 million, then sure, anyone can have it.
I think United would pay that.
City was going to pay Harry Kane, so I don't think they're shy of
they're still going to get Harry Kane next season.
Well, he's going to be. He's got a long contract, but
the man with like 2 goals.
Tottenham aren't going to keep him around. I think he's a bad influence on their dressing room now.
He is.
The mood he's in. Yeah, that was a poor decision.
He hasn't got his moves, so he's basically like boycotting playing.
I really think Levy was like, he's just a professional. If I refuse him his dream move, he'll just continue playing and score me some goals. But Harry Kane's just collapsed. Yeah.
And it's obviously affected his stock or his image because everyone's just seeing him as he was in contention for Golden Boot the last few years and stuff like that.
He has
been winning it.
He won it. Yeah.
Like if he hasn't won it, he's been in those top 2 or those top 3 people. Yeah, and like this season, he scored 2 goals, 2 or 3 goals this season.
Yeah,
2.
2.
Yeah,
could be 1.
Only twice as many as Jadon Sancho.
I think he scored. He's definitely scored 2 because he scored 1 against Newcastle. I remember he scored that, and I think he scored another one a week and a half ago.
He must have scored one or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So okay, so
I'm nearly done. And then Bruno, obviously, no doubt. Sancho's been deployed in that shadow striker kind of cam role, which I'm okay with, but it's on the left. So good to see
we've been here.
At least
Been
on the
here,
right.
done that. Yeah.
It's not his position, but at least on the correct side.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Ronaldo and Rashford up top, which is awesome. I don't mind that.
Makes sense.
Only thing. So you asked how do who's safe, who wins from this, who loses, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned before Pogba was kind of on the outskirts already. He wants to move. I don't think he wants to move. Granted, in all honesty, I don't think he actually wants to leave the
He
club.
wanted to go to Real Madrid when Zidane was there.
Yeah, he would.
If Zidane got a job at PSG, he'd go to PSG.
Especially, he would, especially a French-based team.
Yeah, he'd go. But if that doesn't happen,
I don't think that's going to happen. Zidane wouldn't go to PSG.
I know you'd be surprised.
No.
Yeah, surprised. I think Pogba's he doesn't fit in this squad anymore. Pogba's a central midfielder. He's not a cam. He's not a defensive mid. Right?
That's all the more reason for him to go then.
He can do cam though.
He really loses out.
He's been shifted back from cam by Mourinho, Solskjaer, and he was up there. That he got dragged back into central midfielder.
Well, he can play up there. He can play up there, but you don't replace him with Bruno.
No, you can't.
And Sancho's been pretty good the last few weeks. So Pogba's a massive loser. Van der Beek's going to do well in this squad, I think.
I hope so, yeah.
I mean, he's played, so
that's already a plus. Yeah, he's already on his way.
I've always loved him. Even watching him in the Netherlands squad, I've always loved him. He's not. He's not a defensive midfielder. He slots into those front two.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I see Jesse Messi making a big move to Newcastle, I reckon.
Lingard's gone. He's out. He doesn't fit this anymore.
I think Mason Greenwood might be a small loser in this squad as well because
I somewhat agree with you.
You look at Rashford,
as an out wide player.
Look at all those guys.
Yeah, I don't see where Greenwood fits in. He's absolutely going to come off the bench because he can play that. He can play a bit further back as like a shadow striker or something. Again,
but it's not his best.
It's not his best position. He's up front. Yeah. Like when we were playing him out on the right, that's not his position. He's a striker. Cavani's pretty well done for, I would think.
Yep, he's moving. He's been linked with a lot of moves.
He was never meant to be playing every game this season, though. I think I mentioned on a podcast earlier, he was only meant to be playing about 60%. The other 40% was meant to be as like a sub or like a mentor, right?
Yeah.
Same as like in Zlatan's last season, right? Yeah. When he did his knee in, he probably shouldn't have been playing every game, right?
Yeah.
But he's Zlatan.
We've all proved he proves everyone wrong every time he plays, though.
It's Zlatan, please.
Recently hit a landmark 300th goal, I think.
He really?
I think so, yeah.
Good man. Good man.
But I mean,
big losers: Lingard, Pogba, Cavani,
Martial
Martial's never going to get another game.
Yeah, never.
Martial will be the best player in the world. Yeah, sure, mate.
And everyone else kind of does well. I think it's the wrong formation for Van der Beek to thrive, but
Rangnick will bring him in.
Correct. He's going to get
young. He's hungry. There'll be a room. Yeah,
like he's actually coming on now, and he's not just coming on in like the shit house last minute, right? Like he's not getting those 7 minutes or whatever. He's like, granted against Norwich, it was the 88th minute. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't he get on in the 88th minute?
Yeah, he did. But like, look at the other games he's been starting, or he's been coming on at like the 60th minute, which is kind of he needs to be starting every week. But I mean, there's nowhere to replace him at the moment. Not until somebody like he actually doesn't fit with Ragnick, but he'll still get game time.
Yeah. And I got to ask the big one, of course, that the media have latched onto as a potential big loser of Rangnick is actually Ronaldo.
He's I don't know if you watch the game. In his games, I can't even speak. In his games, he's actually pressing more as well now.
I've heard that.
He's been told. And he does what he's told. He's not an idiot. He knows he's going to get goals. Okay. He's a bit of a... He
does what he's told. He does what he's told. I was like, no. Not quite, but I get what you mean. You know, new manager comes in. He's like, I'll try this. And at Manchester United, people seem to be under the conclusion he's more willing to follow a vision at this club than maybe Juve.
He's not bigger than this club, right? whereas he was probably bigger than Juventus.
Oh, Juve hates that. But yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But no, it's just, I think, and he's actually listening to what he says, because I think he respects, he can see what Rangnick's done. He invented this style of football. He knows what he's doing. He's not just taking a piss and trying stuff. He knows it works.
Yeah.
And he's willing to kind of try it. And it's working, right? We're scraping wins, but he's still getting on the score sheet. So what does he care?
Yeah.
Right. So he has kind of lost that autonomy a little bit. But he's pressing, and we haven't seen him press for the last 5 years. It's pretty good.
To be fair, a player can do what they're told initially, but whether they continue to do so,
especially with Ronaldo's, his presence about him that we saw when he first started to get to the club, where he demands the ball, he has to have the ball.
He can get a little lazy, hang around the box, because he knows he's incredible. He knows if he gets the ball in the box, he scores. Yeah,
that's what the system does. It promotes, when you lose the ball, you get it back straight away. There is no sitting back. It's not a counter press. You get it and you push. Right? It's not just countering with a long ball up or something. Yeah. You get it, you look for a forward pass and you push. Right? But all the players push, not just 1 or 2, right? You're not just pinning a ball. But the system is designed to get it to the strikers. Right? Yeah. So as soon as they went back, they're passing it around, they're passing quickly, in not tiki-taka, but they're passing around quickly. And then they're going to get it up to those strikers. So he's still going to get the ball, which I think he can recognize. When you watch him play this, he's not just strolling around waiting for it in the box now. He's kind of treading back a little bit, because everyone's got to tread back and then push.
Yeah.
We'll see how long he pushes it for.
Yeah, as soon as the results are going shit.
Knowing his reactions, we'll see how long he goes for.
Yeah.
There was actually a name you left out of the losers, though. Someone that maybe didn't get. I mean, we noticed that Tellez got pushed forward, but does that make Luke Shaw a big loser?
Of
Rangnick's arrival.
It's interesting, right? Because Luke Shaw had he was probably one of the standout players of the Euros. So he came into this season on probably the form of his life. And at the end of last season, he was probably he was arguably the best left back at the tail end of last season. Sorry, mate. No, sorry. He came into those Euros in stellar form.
He was great in the Euros. No one can take that away.
I'll give you that. He was good in the Euros.
He came into those Euros in stellar form and carried it over to be one of England's best players. Right? I don't think you can really argue that.
Yeah.
Came in with great form, one of the best players.
Could have been a player of the tournament if England had won.
I think he would have been in with a good shout. Yeah.
Could have, but it wasn't.
All right, Matt.
Luke Shaw kind of probably doesn't fit this profile of play, I don't think.
No.
He's not a big loser, but he's going to lose out, definitely.
He's going to lose out game time, he's going to lose big game time. Because Tellez is one of the most natural penalty takers in world football. So he can step up if Bruno and Ronaldo aren't there. So that's maybe a plus. I don't know. But he can also track forward, and he can whip across in.
Yeah.
He can whip across in. Defensively, probably not as good as Luke Shaw. But I don't think you need that defensive presence in this kind of formation, right?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see this formation against a Man City formation when Tellez comes up against Bernardo Silva.
You're really going to want to have to remember that Shaw in Liverpool's gegenpress, Shaw, Alexander-Arnold, and Robinson push forward.
Yeah,
they're willing to open up space from behind, but that doesn't necessarily hurt them as much when they've got a beast like Van Dijk behind them.
Yeah, correct.
But
you do have
Rand's still out injured.
Triangles, right? So McTominay can cover Lindelof and Dalot well, right? Because they're all close. Same with Fred and Maguire, and Varane when Lindelof comes back. So there's coverage.
But I don't rate the coverage as much. Varane's the good one there. Varane is the good one there,
like I said, and I know I just mentioned it about 2 minutes ago, and we sort of agreed, but moved over it. I would like to see what it would be like against teams like a Man City, sort of a midfield central team, something. And I would like to see how Tellers performs against some of the better attacking players. Like he's going to go up against Bernardo Silva on his left side, and you're saying he's not as good as a defender as Luke Shaw.
Mane would kill him. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I just want to see what happens with some of those players that are a bit better than your average attacker.
It'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting. I'm not sure how we'd fare. I don't know when our next huge game is, to be fair.
Don't worry, I can find out for you.
Yep.
Yeah, if you could.
Your next huge game.
What?
Would you count West Ham as a huge game?
No, that's not the kind of West. We got Man City in March.
6th of March.
Is that it? No big game until
we're looking at like Brentford, Brighton, Newcastle, Burnley, Aston Villa, all those kind of teams.
West Ham,
wild.
Southampton,
a really good run to build up some huge points.
Then you've got Man City, Tottenham, and Liverpool 3 straight weeks from each other.
Yeah, but Tottenham
week after week.
Tottenham games at home, so it's a guaranteed win.
I don't know.
Didn't they beat you at Old Trafford the last time? I remember.
I don't know.
All right. I mean, you got Everton in that as well. Didn't they beat you at Old Trafford?
No, don't even worry about it.
Didn't Andros Townsend give your fans something good to talk about?
Not going to be a problem this time round.
No, I don't think it will. No, but we'll see how it goes against someone like Man City.
We'll see. All right, we're gonna wrap that then. And before we hit our main topic, we're going to just, it's been a while and we've got the actual round of 16 draw tonight, I think, for the Champions League. And, I haven't had a chance to, celebrate with you lads properly. The Barcelona coming down to my level.
No.
We're going to have to watch. We're going to have to surely live stream West Ham versus Barcelona semi-final.
In the final.
In the final.
Dortmund's down with you guys as well. So
I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that.
Hey,
I want to focus on Barcelona.
What about Sheriff, mate? What about Sheriff?
We'll deal with Sheriff. I think we'll deal with Sheriff.
They've got a Adama Traore.
I don't know.
They've got Adama Traore.
Adama Traore. I can hear Hayden. You just triggered him. He's over the hills. He's on his way.
Leon looked good as well, to be fair, in the Europa.
Leon, yeah. But we had better odds. We had the best odds of any team in the Europa League before the Champions League teams dropped down of winning it. Even ahead of Napoli and Leon.
I don't know.
We had the best odds.
One.
Oh, the betting odds were in our favour. Yeah, they were. We were, ahead of. I mean, the odds weren't great for any team, but we were the best.
Monaco looks good as well. They're unbeaten. You guys aren't.
Yeah, they are.
That's true. But we were so comfortable we didn't have to worry, so it's fine. I mean, Leicester, we won't have to worry about Leicester, which is nice.
No, they're not even in the knockout.
No, they won't make it to the knockouts, and we don't have to worry about the round of 32 when maybe Barcelona won't even make it to the round of 32. I
wouldn't put my money on that.
I heard a rumor they were just going to forfeit their position, which would be remarkably stupid because they might not even qualify for the Champions League in their own domestic comp.
I really don't think that's true.
I don't think
I heard a rumor.
Sounds like a Sun article, man.
It was like a bunch of people in Barcelona want to, it's not in our DNA to play.
That sounds like just somebody.
Also, they're terrified of West Ham. West Ham are a very big club. That's actually the quote. West Ham are a massive club.
West Ham are too big for us.
Can I ask who wrote this report, Jackson? Was it you?
Yeah, dude. Of course. I write better articles than like most of those journals. So you wish it was me.
No, it's probably the same.
You're also more humble than them as well.
I am. That's true. I'm a very humble guy. Unbeaten in Europe until recently.
Well, you can't say that now, mate.
No. I just qualified. So any other big? Otherwise. Not many big. Real Madrid recovered, actually, after losing to Sheriff.
Madrid looked fantastic.
Manchester United, top of their group. It was the Manchester City one, PSG one was sort of interesting, because you would have, I think a lot of people actually, predicted PSG to finish second in that group.
Excuse me. PSG actually didn't lost less games than City.
Yeah. But the draws, the 1-1 against Bruges with Simon Mignolet in goal. Yeah.
It's the draws. I mean,
it's always Mignolet.
To be fair, they lost to City. They did lose to City, which is the big one. Yeah.
I mean, and I mean, Liverpool always in with a huge shout.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do want to give a massive shout. Ajax.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
That's
insane.
filthy.
Yeah.
They look.
That was not the most straightforward group for them either.
Well,
that was like
Dortmund, you would have thought would have topped it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Dortmund are in the Europa League.
Haaland, can score all his goals in the Europa League now. It's fine. Yeah.
This season's full of surprises, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So, just for context, Ajax had the second best goal difference in the entire Champions League.
Yeah.
Behind
Liverpool? Oh, Bayern.
Bayern.
Yeah, no, Bayern makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Bayern, yep. Unstoppable beasts. Yeah.
Ajax scored 20 goals.
Yeah. They
That's
won a
enough.
game like 7, then another with 5, I thought. They were like winning with massive goal. I thought they definitely...
they were going 4-2s and 3-1s and 4-0s and
Yeah, no, they were like smashing teams. Otherwise, I don't think there was any massive drops down to the Europa League. Like I know that Milan finished bottom, but in that group of death, it was fair. Yeah, Dortmund. Bayern finished bottom of theirs. Porto coming down to the Europa League. That makes sense.
I mean, you've got Zenit going down. You've got Sevilla. You've got Atalanta, Barcelona, which is the big one. Sheriff, Dortmund, which is another big one. Porto and RB Leipzig.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think the main call outs are just really just Dortmund and Barca, right?
Yeah.
That's huge.
Which
It's huge.
very huge. Yeah, they are huge.
And it's not just the fact that they're in the Europa League and they've failed that in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
They need money.
Barcelona are going to come out like, so how about that European Super League again?
Honestly, they should push for it.
They need it. They desperately need it. But I think they're gonna try and create a continental Super League because they can't trust the English clubs. Because European clubs believe they can like deal with the fan hate, but they think the English clubs would scatter.
I actually think that could work. However,
there's howevers on that. Yeah,
is that not sort of the same thing as the Champions League right now?
Well, but just with the the thing though is it only works. The Germans wouldn't join it. Is the thing.
No.
Bayern and Dortmund wouldn't join. PSG still want to win the Champions League before they leave. So it'd literally just be Italy and Spain in a continental Super League.
If they were to if they were to shit.
You triggered it now.
If they were to make that Super League, right?
Yeah.
That would just, or the European one, rather.
Yeah.
That would probably destroy European football, though.
Yeah, probably. It would both competitions would suffer. And the Premier League would be the real winner because it'd be lucrative more than a continental Super League.
Would you really want to watch it if it didn't have Champions League winning sides, right?
Oh, really? No.
Like as in Chelsea and Liverpool's and
I do the Champions. If let's say there was a split like that, I still think the Champions League, if it still had the Premier League clubs, Germany and France and everyone else, would still win out over a Spanish Italian Super League.
But the amount of bandwagon fans that wouldn't watch this, like the Spanish league, or wouldn't watch Bayern anymore, wouldn't watch the Bundesliga, wouldn't watch the French league anymore.
Yeah, but does that Super League actually bring in that many bandwagoners? Well, I'm going to be honest. They don't go to those clubs anymore.
I'm just going to pose another question before you guys continue. That is obviously it's the Champions League. It's been around for forever, basically. Yeah. The Champions League, the main point is to find the best team in Europe. Obviously, Europe and England combined together. So creating something like a European Super League defeats the purpose of having a Champions League.
Yeah, no.
The Champions League has been the sole best club in the world, best club in Europe for yonks.
And it makes no sense, but the reason they do it is for the money. Even if the Premier League clubs didn't join, even in the short term, the money they'd get from JP Morgan would be enough to sort of bring them back up. Yeah. But in the long term, they can't survive. Like that doesn't sustain itself. I don't even think JP Morgan would back it without the Premier League clubs because the money's in England. Yeah,
correct.
Not without Germany either. Yeah,
even Americans aren't that stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't make as much sense. Like there's just not enough. there's not enough broadcasting. There's not enough lucrative broadcasting deals yet with the Spanish and Italian leagues to make it worthwhile. And the big players aren't there either. I mean, let's be honest. That league with Italy and Spain would probably only have Mbappe in the next generation of great players, and maybe like Pedri. Haaland, if Mbappe is going to Real Madrid, no. Pedri or Ansu Fati, it's one or the other for me. I don't see being that incredible.
Federico Chiesa is still at Juventus.
Yeah, they're okay, Matt. Yeah, but he'll go to Chelsea. All right.
Yeah,
so
hopefully,
let's be honest. The next generation, if you don't have both Haaland and Mbappe, if they're going to be the new pair, if they're not both in your Super League, you aren't going to be good enough.
But then they're not going to be the new pair. That's the thing. We've had this discussion before. Haaland will be a good player, but Mbappe has hit a plateau. And I've mentioned this in the video.
I say this all the time.
He's hit a plateau, so you can't say them two. You can't say them two are the new pairing.
But if he goes to Real Madrid, I think that revives his career, kicks off. I think it's where he wants to be. You've got to take into account. I mean, we just said before, didn't we, that a player like Harry Kane not wanting to be at Tottenham has hurt his form. The same can be said about Mbappe. He does not want to be at PSG. He wants to be at Real Madrid. So we've got to apply that concept to both and say that Mbappe, if he gets the dream move, he will be a better player, much higher than he is.
We can apply that now, but we can revisit it once he moves to Real Madrid.
Yeah, we'll revisit it. Fair.
Because I honestly believe he's hit a plateau, and even if he moves to Real Madrid, moves to whatever club he wants to, moves to fucking Newcastle, whatever he wants to do. But I honestly don't think he's going to get any better than what he is.
He's a great player.
Great debate. Shout out the great debate.
I honestly don't think he's going to get any better than what he is.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. He won't get better. He just might regain form.
All right, easy enough. All right, before we wrap up this and get onto our final topic, I want to hear from each of you a matchup you want to see in the round of 16 in the draw tonight, which maybe we'll do. We'll see what happens. But all right, Matt first. Matt, give me a match you want to see in the round of 16. Just quickly, give me a match you want to see in the round of 16.
I'll give you a favoured match. I would like to see, obviously, Chelsea finish second, so they have to play a top-ranked team. So I'd like to see them play Lille, but I do think that they're going to get drawn against Real Madrid. That's okay. I'll give you that.
What entertaining match though? Most entertaining match you want to see though? In the round of 16?
Most entertaining.
Entertaining.
Okay.
Like thrilling. Something spicy.
Okay. Most entertaining match.
Lille versus Chelsea is not spicy.
Man United versus Atletico Madrid.
All right.
Oh, around the 16.
That'd be okay. Anthony,
I think United win that. Maybe.
Probably. Yeah.
I'd like to see Bayern Chelsea.
Yeah. Okay, Matt. That's Anthony having a crack. All right.
Yeah, I would actually love to see Bayern Chelsea, or like a Man City. Who can they play? Inter.
Yeah, okay. That could be interesting. Inter are really good.
To be fair, every single one of PSG's opponents. They can come up against Ajax,
PSG,
Juve, Liverpool, Man United, and Real Madrid. Any single one of Paris Saint-Germain's games I want to watch.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't care who it is.
Okay, and for me, I actually want to see Ajax against... no, that won't work. I really want to see a proper goal-laden game, and it's got to be Ajax and someone in second. Oh, and I actually like the idea of an Ajax versus PSG, actually.
It'd be thrilling, wouldn't it?
I think it'd be a real thrilling game.
Back Ajax to get through that.
Yeah, it would actually, and Messi getting knocked out in the round of 16. PSG and their star-laden squad. Yeah, that would be fascinating. That'd be really cool. All right. That being said, let's get on to our last topic. This is just something we haven't done for a while. It's about time. We haven't talked. I think 16 games in now, coming on to 17. We can say who's in a relegation battle now.
Yeah,
I think we can say.
Yeah. All right. So I talked to Jackson about this. Sorry, Effie. There's four teams in my vision right now that are in the relegation battle. Right. It's obviously Norwich. It's going to be Burnley as well. Newcastle, they're sort of I know they're second last place, but they're sort of on the cusp of being relegated or just making out of relegation. And Watford. Those are my four teams that are in the relegation battle at the moment. I don't see Southampton dropping down. I don't see Leeds United dropping down. I reckon they'll hold like the 16th, 17th spot. But I do think if there's more like member backlash to Ranieri and Everton, I can see Everton dropping down, but I don't think they will be relegated. I think they might have a scare, but I don't think they'll be relegated. I definitely think Burnley and Norwich will be relegated though.
Here, I have a broader definition of relegation battle. Probably like I won't claim to be able to pick who gets relegated because it's still kind of early for that. But for me, Leeds, Southampton,
couple stand out.
Leeds, Southampton, even like Brentford still are. There's a couple. I would say those teams are deep in a relegation battle.
I think
even Brighton are probably, but they just don't know it yet.
Look, I think Brentford are going to have that first season promotion luck. I think they're going to be able to stay up for one season, and then they're going to go down the season after, so next season.
I definitely agree that Norwich are like an obvious pick to go down. Burnley, maybe Burnley as well.
Look, Burnley's been battling.
Southampton can absolutely go down. Southampton and Leeds can absolutely go down. They're very bad.
Obviously, they're in a position to do so, but let's just bring it back to Burnley for a second. Burnley's been on a cusp of relegation for the last 3 years, so it's got to get to the point where they can't just be that lucky team that always wins on the last match day to get themselves just out of the relegation zone. It's got to come to a point where they're going to lose because they don't have any big hitters, do they? They don't have any big players. One player. Like,
what do you reckon, Anthony?
It's interesting. There's only 3 games. There's only 9 points between 20th and 12th.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
There's a lot of teams, but
it's
even if there are some teams in there, there's a couple of teams that I think are going to play well enough to get out of that. Like Crystal Palace, I'm not going to say they're in this.
No, I think Norwich 100% won't stay up. Well, they won a game 5 weeks ago or something like that, 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
No, I'll fact check it, but continue.
I'm pretty sure it's 5 matches ago.
Norwich won.
They drew against Newcastle.
They beat Southampton. They beat
Southampton 5.
Yeah, they beat Southampton.
Yeah. I mean, Newcastle, actually, I'll come back to Newcastle. Norwich and Burnley are pretty down for me, but I think Watford probably take that third spot.
Watford.
If looking at it like that, I think Watford probably don't have the quality. They've lost 4 on the trot. Newcastle's interesting, right? With their finances now, I think what they do in January is spend just enough money to be able to keep them up. Just safe players that are quality, maybe past their prime. They will recruit in January. It might not be great recruiting and they won't be long-term solutions, but I can absolutely see them in a month having 3 or 4 new players that keep them up. And it won't be a great keep up. It'll be like 15, 16.
Yeah, well, that's all they need. That's all they need.
They just need to be able to stay up. Yeah.
That's why I said I don't really Newcastle's like a here and there for me. They could be in there, they could not.
Yeah. You can't. It'd be stupid to say they wouldn't bring in 3 or 4 players in January.
There's been talks of Jesse Messi moving to Newcastle in January.
That could save him. If he actually does, if that is true, that would be one of those kind of players that
I don't think that's actually going to happen. Personally, I don't think that's going to happen simply because the actual media stuff on that was very short-lived and about the time that everyone was getting linked with Newcastle when it came through.
Yeah.
It's probably we will get Lingard.
It's probably not, but Lingard is a good option to go to in this.
Yeah, he would be, but he won't go. Yeah,
get away from the name Lingard. It's that kind of player that they.
That would be a clever signing.
Big clubs, you know?
But here's the problem for me. The issue is that Eddie Howe is being linked and trying to go after a lot of his old Bournemouth players, and as seen by their game against like Leicester. Defensively awful. Eddie Howe is defensively terrible. But these players he used to have weren't defensively great either. He's gone for players he used to know. Sure, that's cool, but they weren't defensively great under him.
No.
It's probably not the right approach. So Lewis Cook is a player they've been linked with.
I actually always rated Lewis Cook. I thought he was actually quite a good player. Probably wrong manager.
Wrong manager. But if he goes back under Eddie Howe, then
Yeah.
Probably not great.
But I can see Newcastle going after like fringe players or loaning players in from clubs like Tottenham and Arsenal and like your Leicesters and maybe maybe Everton offload a few people. You know,
I mean,
they just need to get proven Premier League quality that aren't quality. Does that make sense?
They need fringe quality, proven players. I mean, you
Newcastle are probably lucky. There's a lot of bad teams in the league this season. Yeah,
correct.
They are. If looking at the table, this season is very spread. Like Anthony said, between what was it, 12th and 20th?
12th and 20th.
There's 9 points. Yeah, 3 games between them.
I wouldn't know. We're not in that range.
So sorry, isn't there a point? Isn't there a point between you and United and 2 points between you and Arsenal?
Yeah, that's fine.
And
Reverse Arsenal, we'll take it.
If you lose to Arsenal, you can drop to 6.
Oh, that'd be dreadful, terrible. But then we play Norwich, so it'll be fine. We will be fine. But yeah, no. All right.
What about you? Who have you got? Yeah.
Well, I actually think it's worth mentioning, like I've said, Brentford and Brighton, their form should mean they're relegation, they're battlers. Yeah. But they got enough points early on. They've got enough points early on.
Yeah. That's all.
Brighton's interesting though. Brighton's interesting because they're not losing many.
No, they're drawing most of their games. I mean, they draw 4 out of the 5 games.
Yeah, but if you haven't won a game since September, you're bad. That gets you relegated.
A common stat: you can't draw every game and stay in the Premier League.
Yeah. But they won't draw every game. Is the thing? They're going to lose a bunch. They're just not. Brentford as well. Like both of their form they just got a lot of points early on. The first 10 games, I think, is what did it for.
Yeah, they probably did enough to. Kind of.
If this was a season where 20 are finished with like 32 points, 30 points or something like that, they would be in trouble. But it's not going to be that, is it?
That's it. I was about to say, you look at previous seasons of where teams have finished, like that bottom 3 have finished on points, and you look at like your Brightford, your Brenton, they've obviously done enough because the bottom 3 are 10 and 11 points. Like they're 10 points ahead of them already. And if the bottom 3 keep drawing and keep losing, and if Brentford and Brighton keep drawing and keep losing, they're still going to be on an upper echelon to these guys.
Because they've cemented those points in early.
Exactly.
Yeah. It was the same with Southampton last season. They got a whole bunch of points early on.
Yeah.
Were dreadful second half of the season, but it was enough. So
I believe Arsenal's gone down.
That's what people were trying to say. That's what they were trying to say.
Back.
That was I really need Arsenal and Tottenham to go back to being terrible. It really opens up space for Europe.
Yeah, Tottenham have got to stop winning.
I mean, they've got COVID scares.
You might be fine. Yeah, they've got COVID scares.
They've got 2 games in hand compared to most teams in the Premier League now because of their 2 postponements.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap up, guys, we've hit the hour mark. Let's say this, lads. I'm not going to ask you who's going to finish 20th. I'm going to ask you who finishes 17th.
Oh,
Southampton.
Okay. Anthony?
Not to be boring, but I actually think Southampton as well. Because Watford, Norwich and Burnley go down. Newcastle probably jump 15th. And then it goes to Leeds. Southampton.
Or Newcastle finishes 16th.
Yeah, or Newcastle finishes.
Which is the most likely situation.
Yeah.
I actually think Leeds are going to finish 7th.
You reckon?
I think they're in crisis. I think it's actually disaster.
They're not good at the moment at all.
So I can see them barely staying up, like survive second season syndrome and try and progress from there, basically.
What about Everton as a shout, though?
No, they'll recover. They will be fine eventually.
What I said before, if their fan base keeps consistently turning on their manager, then it could be a possibility.
Yeah, it could be
in that 15th to 17th range.
Yeah, but I thought that when Ronald Koeman was like taking him down that way, and they got away with Sam Allardyce and survived. I don't see it. They might finish 15th though. They could finish 15th.
They've lost 4 out of their last 5, and they only won one with a Damari Gray screamer and 2 goals being called offside by Richarlison.
Yeah, unlucky. Well, all right. that wraps us up for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope it's been worth your time. And make sure to like and subscribe and follow wherever you're watching us: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. It's been a while. We hope you enjoyed the return of the podcast, which is actually our 10th episode of the podcast. Here's to another 10, everyone. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.